Hello ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Big Rust here, back with a brand new Nasus guide for you guys today. We're looking at how to become an unbeatable, killable, mean machine motherfucker on Nasus. So starting off with my runes, you're on for 9 greater marks of attack damage, 3 greater quintessences of movement speed, 9 greater seals of armor, and finally 9 greater glyphs of cooldown reduction. My masteries on Nasus, I've got 2 options for you guys. You can go firstly for 9 points in the offensive tree, 21 down the defense, and for the second option you can choose to put 18 points down the defense, 12 down the utility. If we're going for this utility sort of one, you get some additional mana and health back through the pots. They last a little bit longer and you get some additional lifesteal. Some of the spells on Nasus, I like to take teleport and flash or teleport and ghost. The reason for this being, with teleport you're able to get to your lane quicker, you're able to make ganks happen in other lanes, and late game you can continue farming and then teleport into a team battle or objective fight. Between flash and ghost is very situational. You have to decide what the enemy team has. If they have a lot of CC, then you want to have flash to get out the stuns, whilst if they don't have that, ghost is really good for chasing down enemies, especially the AD carry. Let's talk about the pros of being Nasus. He's my favourite champion on the game, and I'm going to talk about some of the reasons why. He has high sustain thanks to his passive. He can clear waves quite quickly with his E. He has a withered slow, which is really nice for focusing the AD carry in team fights. He has a legendary skin. What more can you want? He looks crazy, you know, he's the devil. He has 3 heads when he ultimates. GG. You can destroy objectives very easily. Many times I've been able to backdoor an enemy's base thanks to having enough Q stacks. Finally, he is godlike late game. There is no champion that scales harder than Nasus as long as you can keep farming up your Q. You're going to be, if you can get 100 every 10 minutes, you're going to be on a good point, but preferably you want to be looking to get around 200 every 10 minutes after the first 10 minutes gone. If you can hit that, then no one is going to stop you. You're going to be having four members of the team trying to take you down. Your team split pushes and they win the game, and it's GG thanks to you just being an unkillable, mean motherfucker, beast ass Nasus machine. So I've looked at the pros of being a Nasus now, and obviously with pros on any champion you have the cons of being a certain champion, and with Nasus there are a couple of cons that can go against you depending on how the game goes, and it's all situational. So first point I want to look at is he's extremely farm reliant. If you don't have farm, you're useless. You have no early damage at all because you don't have the Q stacks. Your Q's on such a short cooldown early game. Until you start to get those Q stacks, you're looking to probably have around 250 by 20 minutes. If you can have that, you're going to be looking to be a mean machine. So it all depends on how the enemy reacts, how much the lane pushes you, how the jungler reacts against you, and so forth. It's all situational. On top of that, he can be kited very easily in team fights. Say if you want to go to the AD carry, you want to wither him, you know, you can be kited around quite easily. Unless you have that sort of ghost, you're not really going to be able to charge on anyone. Along with that, he has low kill potential before level 6, as I was mentioned earlier. There is not really much you're going to do. Even when you have your ultimate, you're not going to be looking to take Ignite in the lane. So for jungler ganks, unless he gets a really nice stun off or something, you're not really going to make a kill happen. You may make them flash, and that's about it. And finally, he has no dash escape. Really, the only escape tool you have is your wither, and I guess your ultimate can help you kind of, you know, sustain for a little bit longer if you were to get ganked. So you want to make sure that you're warding your lane and not pushing, as Nasus does not want to push. As I mentioned earlier, you do not want to be pushing your lane because you open ganks. Let them push to you and just farm, farm, farm and farm. When playing Nasus, you want to max your Q first, taking it at level 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9. It's your most important tool. The quicker you max it, the more stacks you're going to get, because the quicker the cooldown reduction, so forth, so forth. I look to take my Wither at level 2, which means if they decide to try and go aggressive as they want to do around that level, you're going to be able to reduce their attack speed and movement speed, allowing you to move away quicker, and if a jungler comes, it's a good way to stop them from progressing on top of you. Taking your E at level 4, just to clear waves and so forth, but you don't want to really be throwing your E down too much as it will push the wave against you, and you don't really want that unless you feel that you can be aggressive. But if you be aggressive, then as I was mentioned earlier, you open ganks and you just want to farm. Obviously taking your ultimate at 6, 11 and 16, so I have to max my Q first, I then max my W as it's your main assassinating tool. It's what's going to kill the AD carries in the team fights and help you even pick kills up in the lane once you have enough Q stacks, and then finally maxing my E. My recommended build for Nasus will consist of Mercury Treads, Iceborne Gauntlet, a Spirit's Visage, Randuin's Omen, Banshee Veil, and Warmogs. So I'm going to give you an idea of why I go for these items, depending on who you're going against in lane though. If you're going against an AP laner, you probably want to rush your Spirit's Visage, as you're going to want that early magic resist, and the Spirit's Visage is a really nice item to have on Nasus anyway. Whilst if you're going against a AD laner, then I generally rush my Iceborne Gauntlet because it gives me the armor, plus I have my Sheen proc in it, and I love it for dueling. But you could also rush Random's Omen, or both, to kind of mix them together. You may want to go for the Giant Spout or the Chain Vest earlier, depending on how you're doing. I always go for Mercury Treads because I like the tenacity that it gives me, and it gives you the additional magic resist, which is really nice. The Iceborne Gauntlet for me is the most important item on Nasus because it gives you the slow proc from your Q, then with your W slow, it basically resets to each other and no one's going to be able to get away with you, especially if you have Ghost, you're just going to chase them all day long. Banshee's Veil, again it gives you a nice amount of magic resist, it can prop a big ability, you know, if you get a Niddy Spear, Gragas Barrel at you, it's going to stop that. Warmogs is pretty much a must on any tank, the regeneration HP that you gain from it. Here are some other options I've listed that you could choose if you did want to go for the build that I have listed, and again situational, you may want to change these items depending on who you're against. Say if they have a full AD team, then you may want to add that Formail into your build instead of say the Banshee's Veil. The Frozen Heart's really nice because of the mana, it gives you the cooldown reduction and obviously the aura of reducing the attack speed. Ninja Tabbies could be very good again for dueling your opponents, and also if they have a heavy AD team. You may go for the Hydra. I don't really recommend it. I normally, if I feel I'm dominating a lane, I may go for it, but you have enough damage on your Q anyway, you don't really need the Hydra, and with the Hydra it pushes away so you don't get as many stacks from your Q. Sunfire Cape again is quite good, you know, plus your ultimate, that's a lot of AoE damage you're going to be doing to your opponent. A GA gives you a bit of the best of both worlds, but I'm not a massive fan of GA. If someone kills you, generally they're going to be on top of you and they're going to be able to kill you again. The other item which I haven't added there is the Triforce. You can go for the Triforce if you want a bit more bigger damage, but for me, I'm a massive fan of the Iceborne Gauntlet because of the slow, and I mentioned earlier it works really well with your Wither. There you go guys, that was my Nasus guide for Season 4. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'm a massive Nasus player, he is my favourite champion in games, so I have a bit of an idea what I'm talking about. You guys may think I'm a noob, but who knows. So, but anyway, hopefully you enjoyed it. I tried to cover the main points in its build, your runes, masteries, and a bit of gameplay in there. If you feel there's anything I've missed, let me know, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. If you enjoyed the video, it'd be really nice if you could like it so that I know you guys enjoy this stuff, and I can start working on some more guides in the future. And for future guides, what would you like to see in there? Would you like me to make any certain changes and so forth? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy.